Hey, folks, this is Hard Hat Conversations coming at you live on a Friday, January the 31st, the last day of January 2025. This is your host, Richard. I'm stationed here in Cleveland, Ohio. Welcome and thank you for listening. We're going to get into some tough subjects today. This is Hard Hat Conversation. Like, subscribe, comment, please. And let's get into a couple of issues that I want to talk to you folks about. And let's do it. I see that the main thing right now is called, what is that? DEI. Again, DEI, which stands for diversity, equality, and inclusion. Diversity, equality, and inclusion. Let's dive into that a little bit, folks. I scrapped down a couple of notes. Like I said, I'm not a scholar. I'm just a regular six-pack Joe, just listening at the news like you, just trying to make a living. So, a few things I noted down. Let me go to my notes, folks. I'm going to go to my notes a lot today, folks, because this is a tough subject. What is DEI? Well, I Googled it, folks. I wrote down a few things that stood out to me. I know one of the things that DEI is called gender terms. And I'm like, gender terms? I said, oh, that's man and woman, right? You know, the two genders, man and woman. So I said, okay, that's easy. No big deal. So I looked at a couple of things. I didn't write them all down, folks, because it's too many. And I'll get lost. Just being honest, folks. One thing it said, be mindful of culture differences. I can agree to that to somewhat, but we don't need no DEI to tell us that. We know that. Culture differences. You know, it could be anything. Like black people like chicken, and they say we like chicken and watermelon. They say the Italians like spaghetti and meatballs. You know, stuff like that. You know, maybe that's what they are talking about with culture differences. It could be food. It could be music. It could be clothes. Is that what they talking about, folks? I don't know. Like, subscribe, comment. That's the few things that come to my mind right away. I thought they used to call that stereotypes, but could that be DEI? Diverse, equality, inclusion terms now? I don't know. Help me out, folks. I could be wrong, but I thought those were stereotypes. But now they got a new name for it. But like I said, I could be wrong. So please like, subscribe, and comment. Another thing that stood out to me was they say certain words you got to say today now when you're referring to folks. Like, if you walk in the room, from what I'm reading right here, you're supposed to say hello all. I'm going to repeat that again. Like, it's a term to say hello all. Instead of saying hello sir or hello ma'am. You got to say hello all. You know why, right? Because somebody in there might want to be a fish. I don't know. I'm not trying to make jokes of this, folks, but this is what's going on. I'm reading this to you. It said you got to say hello all, because if you just say the two genders, which we all know there's two genders, we could debate that. Well, it's not really no debate, but if you want to talk about it, like I said, this is Hard Hat Conversations. We're going to let you speak what you want to say, whether we disagree with it or not. And that's the beauty of America. We can talk about our differences. So, you know, I'm a good listener, you know. That don't mean I'm a rock with you, but we're good listeners. But that's what that means to me. Say hello all, so you don't point nobody out, because that might be a fish or turtle, a French poodle or something, instead of saying sir or ma'am. Come on, folks. We're in trouble. We're in trouble, folks. And guess who's doing this? Our lawmakers, folks. we got these so-called we got a few mixture of people in Congress, right? We got I think we got a lot of lawyers there, doctors, maybe a few scientists. You know they always say follow the science, right? Even though they don't follow it. It remind me of the church. The church always tell you to do this and do that, and half of them don't even do what they say they do. So that's what the Congress remind me of. You get them in there, and they don't do the will of the people, but they do the will of the lobbyists, the corporations, or maybe just and the unknown people who just got lots of monies. They all get the breaks. They all get the laws. But if you want to know the real truth, folks, the Constitution was made not for the slaves that were still slaves at the time, not for the common man. It was made for rich people because the rich people was tired of King George taxing their property that they own. That's what the Constitution was really made for the rich man to keep his own property, not for the poor people. If you want to believe that it was made for the poor people, you can go ahead and be delusional and think that. But if you look at the people that made up the Constitution, all of them had slaves, all of them had land, all of them had they were filthy rich. And they got enough power to say, you know what, we're going to buy our own army and stop this king from taxing us. We don't need him no more. We're going to create our own king. We call him the president now. And then he's going to help us make laws so we can keep our riches and we can keep a labor force. Maybe I'm wrong, folks. Like, subscribe, comment. But that's what it looked like the Constitution really is. We want to really look at it really dives into it, Then they made a few amendments because some of the poor people rised up and said, wait a minute, this is too much, So they throw us a few bones, like today they throwing us like DEI, diverse, equity, inclusion. So I don't know, folks. We're in trouble. That's just a few things that I spotted out and see, with the DEI. A lot of people are making a big deal about it. I don't know why. If you want to be a dog or fish, that's fine, or whatever you want to be. But if I see a man and I see a woman, I should have the right to say, excuse me, sir, excuse me, ma'am, because on your birth certificate, it's going to say man or woman. So I'm sorry about that. I don't mean to offend you, but that's what the science tell me. That's what we are, and if you want to think we're something else, that's fine. Do it at home and be what you are. But don't expect the public to ride with you on everything. Come on, folks. The public don't ride on everything that I like. So it's just, that's why they call it the public. When you go out in public, you got to be, you got to act right in public. You got to have some type of normalcy. So that's all I'm going to say on that DEI. And one more thing, we're going to have to create another alphabet because we're running out of a lot of the letters. A lot of letters are getting used up. We got the LGBTQ, we got DEI, we got BLM. We're running out of alphabet letters. We're going to have to create a whole new one. That's a thought. Remember, folks, Richard said it first on Hard Hat Conversation. If somebody come up with the new alphabet, they got to pay me, okay? They got to give me my royalties, all right? So don't forget that. I got it recorded, too, on YouTube. Hopefully they don't take it off. All right, folks. Let's go to the next thing. Everybody was going crazy about Donald Trump freezing that money. So these non-profits, these non-profits, they don't make money. They here to help folks with drug rehab, housing, all sorts of social things, daycare and stuff like that, which I don't mind. You know, I like those social programs because we do need them because because a handful of people got so much money that they won't share it. So the poor got to come together and try to save themselves. That's reality, folks. But of course, you always have those who take advantage of the system. Yeah, it don't matter how many degrees you have or what status you have. There's always somebody sliding in to take advantage of the system. And like I always tell you, folks, when there's tax dollars involved, somebody's stealing big time because there's really no accountability. Because you know why, folks? Because it comes out of me and your paycheck every day, guaranteed. You know, it's not like if you don't sell enough hamburgers, your money go down that week. You didn't make a lot that week, or you run a bar or a shoe store or something. You didn't make a lot of sales. So, but with the government, that money is guaranteed, taxes and everything. So everybody's trying to grab after that guaranteed money, wouldn't you? So I just did a little bit of research. Excuse me, folks. Like I said, it's a lot going on with this. It's a lot to dive into. I can't do it. I could just do a little bit. Grant money. The definition of grant money is basically when you see the word grant anywhere, that basically means you don't have to pay it back. That's it. It's not a loan. It's not nothing. It's just grant mean don't pay it back. So a lot of people fight to get a lot of grant money for whatever causes they doing. So whenever you hear that word, that's what it's for. And do you know actually, you know, with the grant money, you have a lot of these 501c's um, and these nonprofits. They kind of like the same, a little twisted here and there, but they basically, if you look it up, it's basically in the same perimeter. They all want the grant money. That's what combines them together. They want grant, even though they can get money from other sources, private donations and stuff like that. But the main thing is to try to get as much as that government money as you can. You know, because that's what guaranteed money. Private donations come and go. They come here, they donate sometime, then they stop, then they go to somewhere else and stuff like that because they don't believe in the cause or whatever the cause is that the nonprofit or the 501c is doing. So the government money is guaranteed, folks. Don't ever forget that. That's why people fight and run for office and stuff. They know they're gonna get paid that guaranteed money, and it branches off to other ventures where they can make money and stuff like that. And also at the end of the day, people like power. We do. It's one of our sins. We like to have power over other people. It's one of our sinful natures. You know, we rather have the power than help people. We'll have that first, and then we'll claim that we want to help people, and then we're like, why should I help them? I want to just keep growing my power. So it's a part of our sinful nature, and that's why we have to fight against it, folks. It's a tough battle too. That money is something else. So right quick, they don't pay income taxes in a lot of states. They don't have to pay income taxes. The 501c's and the nonprofits, they have to pay for operational costs. So just like any other job, you have a secretary, you have a treasurer, blah 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 blah, workers doing this and projects doing that. They got to get paid. Ain't nobody. This is not voluntary. This is, even though they call it a nonprofit, but you still have to have people to run out because they got to pay their bills as well, right? But the only problem is who's governing them on how much they get paid, because you give a certain amount of money to an organization. What's the percentage of that actually going out to their cause, like giving out free coats or free food or free backpacks or whatever it is, folks? You know, how much percentage is that money going to the cause. What's the percentage should be? I didn't think. I tried to write that down, but I didn't write it down. My fault, folks. There's a certain percentage that the nonprofit and the 501c should be doing, even though they have the operating costs. And a lot of us don't understand this. I don't really understand it. I just learned a little bit just by reading, folks, and it can be complicated. It can. It's a lot, folks. So I'm just giving you the bare bones of what little bit I think that's going on. Like I said, if I don't know, like, subscribe, and comment. Let me know. Educate me. And of course, there's always some good nonprofits out there, but man, there's a lot of bad ones now, man, because everybody's getting into the game. Nobody knew about nonprofits and 501cs. I'm like, what is that garbage? I don't understand all that. But the smart ones, once they learn it, they telling their family members to make them. They telling their friends. They telling everybody, get some of this government money. All you got to do is have this 5, 6, 7 people set this up, tell them you want to build a playground or you want to go paint some houses on the street to make the neighborhood look beautiful. You know, I need a $5,000, $10,000 grant. I'm gonna spend maybe $500 on the paint and get some voluntary workers and bank the rest of the money. You know, I'm not saying they all do it, folks, but I'm just saying that's how the game is played. If you want to play that game, it is. It's reality. That's why some of them get in trouble. And I think the IRS supposed to be IRS, and it's another group supposed to be overseers. Oh, the board of directors. Now, maybe I'm wrong. I'm just going by instinct. Who's they board of directors? Handpicked people that they know? They getting paid too, the board of directors. So are the board of directors going to stop them doing what they doing? Or do the board of directors want to be just like the operation person under them? They want to make as much money as they can. Remember, this is a nonprofit. It's supposed to be going to help folks. But we all know what money does, folks. We all know. So I ain't even got to get into that. So the IRS already got enough trouble to handle with everybody with their taxes. You hear the stories all the time. You got investors right now buying up land in Cleveland, Ohio, and all these other cities in the low. They just hold up. I'm going too far. They raised our county taxes, right? Property taxes on the houses in the poor area city of Cleveland. Now, you don't have the mayor. You don't have the governor. Who else? You don't have nobody else advocating for the poor people that live in those houses that's on fixed income and know that they can't pay those property taxes as they rise. That's evil, folks. With a stroke of a pen, folks. They're guilty, folks. They stealing the land like they did with the Indians in the old days. They're using the laws to steal the land from the poor people. And they moving them out so they can build their new projects. That's what they doing. So where's the advocates? They doing this. Where's the pro bono lawyers to fight this? That shouldn't even have passed, that Cuyahoga County property tax. We in a recession. If they don't want to believe it, we are. So how you gonna pass to raise people property taxes? You got eggs, $7, that everybody want to talk about some eggs. Meat is skyrocketing. No affordable housing. You got immigration coming in with no affordable housing. You got tent cities going everywhere. Crime is going up because people are hungry. And when people are hungry and don't have things, their natural instincts going to come in. They going to what? Steal from you to have. So where are the advocates? Where's the churches? Where's everybody? A meal on Thanksgiving Day is not going to save me. A meal on Christmas Day is not going to save me. A coat in the winter is not going to save me. It may keep me warm for a few days. We need some sustainable Folks, we need some sustainable, what's that word I'm looking for? Help me out, folks. Light Scribe coming. We need some sustainable help in these poor areas. They're getting too poor where they're starting to look like third world countries. And how is that? We got all these tax dollars, food stamps, Section 8, and all this. And why are our services are going down in the tank? Where's all this money going? I'm telling you, folks, it's just asinine, crazy. Nobody's saying nothing. Nobody's saying nothing. And nobody's holding accountable. It's like everybody's scared to say anything. Nobody wants to get together anymore. They're weakening the population. All they got you doing is fighting each other. Racism, diversity, equity, inclusion. Everybody's calling each other names. Everybody's saying that you phobic on everything because you don't agree with it. It's crazy, folks. What's that old saying about a house divided? Come on, you know it will fall, and that's what they doing. And I know people say, "Oh, quit talking about the rich. It ain't their fault they get." Yes, it is. They're part of the problem. Not all of it, but part of it. How can you sit up there and have so much and see people suffering? That's insane. That's evil. Being evil is not stabbing somebody, killing somebody. That's not evil. You can be evil with a, look at this, folks. You see this Sharpie? This is a Sharpie, folks. You can be evil with a stroke of a pen by writing these evil laws in, raising property. Who raises taxes during a recession? People hurting and stuff. Who does that? That's evil. That's evil, folks. So that's why these nonprofits got mad when Donald Trump put a halt to the money and said, wait a minute, I'm going to clean up some of this. Don't forget, folks, just a few years ago, a lot of people stole a lot of money with those, what was that called? PPE loans. Anybody with a 10th grade education go fill out an application and get some money. I cut grass. I'm a tree trimmer. I got a cleaning company. I own a restaurant. My vending machine's losing money. The restaurant's closed. All kinds of stuff people was putting down, and the money was just flowing. There was no accountability. Now all of a sudden they want to start coming back and hurting folks, looking for that money. Isn't that something, folks? It's crazy. And they doing it here. So that's why they really going crazy, folks, because the ones that operate those nonprofits and 501c, that mean their money is being halted. They act like they care about the services that they doing. Like I said, there's probably a few out there, but there's so many that don't do what they're supposed to do. Those few outweigh, those many outweigh the few that's really doing something, folks. So that's why they up and roar. That's really what's going on behind closed doors. They want that money because they can't pay for their houses and cars, but yet it's a nonprofit. Come on, folks, let's get educated here. We got YouTube. We got Twitter, we got Facebook. Use those tools that educate yourself. If there's something you don't know zero about, get on one of them platforms. I guarantee you can learn a little bit, the basic, to get yourself going. You ain't got to know it all, folks. Nobody got time for all that, because you got to do what? You got to go to work. You got to pay your bills, your high property taxes. And like I said in my other podcast before, you renters need to be jumping on with these property owners, because they rent go up, yours going up too. So all of y'all need to band together. There shouldn't be no separation. Of course, they'll try to do that so it won't be too much noise made by the property taxes going up. raising property taxes in these poor cities. Why you and the reason you're doing that is to still lay land because you know they're gonna lose their house or they're gonna sell it to some investor from out of town that's gonna give them a couple of dollars, laughing and taking all that stuff. You ought to be ashamed of yourself. Where's this governor of the state of Ohio? Where's these services that we pay for with our tax dollars to protect the consumer? How come the Better Business Bureau ain't out there putting up pamphlets talking about be careful, you're getting a lot of these phone calls of people trying to buy your homes? How come they ain't putting nothing out? That's their job. They should be doing that stuff. And I'm talking about the poor neighborhoods, the ones that don't have the resource to fight. What's the other? We got councilwomen. No, what do they call? See, I get so confused, folks. I'm sorry, I can't keep up with them because they drive me nuts because they don't do nothing. Chantel Brown. What's the other one name? It's another one. All of them are district people. They up in Washington. They supposed to be our voice. They stealing the land. Who knows? Could they be part of it? I'm not accusing them of that, but who knows? Nobody's saying nothing about it. Not just singling her out, but there's others. And why isn't the governor or any entity like the city, Justin Bibb or somebody, why don't they buy up East Cleveland? Those residents are suffering. They right next door. They's our next door neighbors. Now, we always say we got to attack racism when we see it sometimes, right? We don't believe in racism in everything, folks. I know I don't. But there's some instances where you got to open up your eye and say, wait a minute. If this was any other kind of community, this community would be trying to be saved. Do I have to say it, folks? Do I really have to say it? Because I try to stay out this race stuff, but when it comes to fruition, we have to say something about it. And let's not beat up the poor, uneducated people there. Not all of them are bad. There's people that's actually living and working there and trying to make a living. So let's not think about crime all the time, folks. Think about the poor people that live in those crime neighborhoods. Have mercy and pity on them. When you go to church and be praying for stuff, pray for those people that's trying to live a decent life and work in that pit down there called East Cleveland, where the mayor is getting thrown out. City council people don't even know what's up and down. How come somebody just don't take over? How come give the Justin Bibb, talk to the governor and say, we'll take it over, governor. We need this X amount of dollars to take over this place. Get some of that state money. Get some of that marijuana money. Save that community. Get some of that alcohol money. And save East Cleveland. Churches, go march on, get together with East Cleveland churches, whatever left of them, and go down to the state capitol and demand that Governor DeWine do something about East Cleveland. Those people are suffering. These people are jokes, man. And then as soon as some white person come down there and say, well, we need to do that, oh, they racist. They picking on us. But we all down there, what we doing? We in those high seats in Congress. We got all them black leaders with money and power. Do a GoFundMe page for East Cleveland. Come on, folks. With the APL, y'all love the animals so much, you do a GoFundMe for a pet. Do it for the people in East Cleveland. Why don't all those groups join in? APL, Black Lives Matter, women's rights groups. Start getting that money and say we need to fix up, because there's pets in East Cleveland. There's women in East Cleveland. Well, there's black women in East Cleveland. Do I got to bring out the race card to get some attention? Is that the reason? Because I guarantee you, if it was any other type of minority, somebody be trying to save that place. But all they do is look at, oh, it's just crime there. No, it's good, decent folks there living in hell, and some of them can't afford to move like you guys did, and they suffering down there. When Jesus Christ said, do these to my neighbors, he talking about your East Cleveland neighbors, your Cleveland neighbors, your West Side neighbors. That's the neighbors he talking about, my family church. He ain't talking about your neighbor next door. He ain't talking about your cousin. That's a given. You're going to do that for your cousin and your son and daughters. Y'all know what I'm talking about. Come on. This is insane, folks. All right, I'm going to get off of that because y'all get me wild up. I was on that nonprofit stuff. So while they yelling at Donald Trump about he blocking the money, everybody need to do an investigation on a lot of them nonprofits because a lot of them are stealing the money. And that's the fact, Jack. Where am I at? Y'all got me riled up today. Let's go to this next one real quick. Government workers. President Trump said, come back to work in the office. COVID is over. Time to come back like the regular tax-paying folks got to go to work every day, get up, get gas, pay for parking, do all those normal things that we did before the pandemic. I don't see nothing wrong with it. It's just a normal thing of life when you get those jobs. Get your butt back in them office buildings, or why don't you go ahead and just take a buyout? What's wrong with that? What's wrong with that? Come back to the office. I got to go to work every day. The taxpayers got to go in every day. Majority of us can't work at home. We got factory jobs, policemen, nurses, garbage collectors, mailmen. Come on. You got a lot of government workers that can't work at home. COVID is over with. What's the excuse? Why are we getting upset about it? We just going to work. He's not telling you to lose your job. He just said, come on back in the office. That's over with. Everything's temporary in this world. Sound like entitlement to me. I enjoyed the ride for 3 or 4 years. I didn't have to come in that building, spend gas money, buy lunch and all that. I enjoyed it. Now it's over with. What's the big deal? You did it before? What you crying about? I don't get that. Nobody's beating you up. Nobody's saying you're doing a bad job, but there could be some improvement. Like I always say, when people dealing with taxpayers' dollars, they're not producing nothing, a product. They're doing a service. That's 2 different things. Okay? When you're producing something and you don't make them numbers or whatever, you can get in trouble. But what I say about tax dollars, they come guaranteed every week or every 2 weeks, or however they get it. So I'm just throwing my 2 cents in, folks. What's the old Monopoly game say? I'm a taxpayer. I got the right. You know, in the old days, if you weren't no taxpayer, you couldn't even vote. So, a little history lesson for that. All right. I got to run back on this, piggyback on this nonprofit real quick. This is local, folks. This isn't dealing with Cleveland. I got this off of cleveland.com. Do you know right now, 34, I want y'all to listen to this real closely. I'm going to repeat it a couple of times. 34 nonprofit employees, 34 now, nonprofit employees, that's mean not employers, employees, outside of healthcare. You know, one of the biggest employer is Cleveland Clinic University, you know, hospitals and blah, blah, blah. Outside of them, we're not counting them, folks. I'm going to repeat that. We're not this not even dealing with the healthcare part. This just dealing with 34 nonprofit employees in this area made over $500,000 plus in Greater Cleveland in 2023. That's individuals, folks. 34 nonprofits employees, not employers, outside of healthcare. Don't even think about Cleveland Clinic. Just another other nonprofit, whatever they doing. Remember I mentioned that before? Maybe they giving away coats. Maybe they doing a service, cleaning downtown Cleveland, whatever it could be, whatever it is. 34 of them made over okay, let's put it this way, $500,000. That's nonprofit money, folks. Think about it. Think about it. Not beating them up, but just telling you. Cleveland.com put this down. I'm going to name you a couple of them, folks. Like I said, I'm not beating nobody up. This is Cleveland.com. They just wrote down a few of them. Google it. You don't believe me? Google it. Go to Cleveland.com. Here's a few of them. They made over $500,000. That's $500,000, folks. Non-profits. A lot of them are tax exempt and this and that and that and this. Taxpayers' money, folks. Cleveland Museum of Art is one of them. I can't even remember the last time I've been to the art museum. The Greater Cleveland Partnership, whatever they do, I don't know. IdleStream, I seen them on the internet. I don't know what they do. I gotta look that up some more. Oberlin College, it's college. The Great Playhouse Square, I'm telling how much they getting. And the Vintage Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. You would think all those singers would donate money there where we wouldn't have to give them no taxpayers' money. That's just me talking, folks. That's Richard talking, folks. All right, I'm getting off of that, folks. It's Friday night. All right, I got one more local news thing going on. These last two things I got that dealing with the city of Cleveland. I guess last week I didn't talk about it. I got this from Signal Cleveland. Another good newspaper. So far, so good. I'll let you know when they get bad. Trust me, I'll let you know. But so far, so good. Cleveland.com and Signal Cleveland staying on point, reporting it like it is. You can find them online. Once they go rogue, I'll let you know. I'll let you know. We hear about truth on Hard Hat Conversations. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and comment on what you hear and what you like and don't like. Give me some ideas, folks. Don't be scared. You pay taxes. This one little tidbit I just saw was, I think this happened about a week ago in the city of Cleveland Council. Councilman Joe Jones, seen him a lot on TV, blah, blah, blah. He was hit with workplace violence and sexual behavior. And we all know about how these workplaces, even at my workplace, it's all in the handbook, folks. Gotta be careful what you say to these women or men. You gotta be careful. You just can't say what you want to say in the workplace. I know some of them look good and all this, but you gotta be careful. It's tough. But you got to be careful, all right? Hopefully he can get over this and it wasn't too bad. He takes some classes and stuff, it ain't the end of the world, So hopefully it wasn't no physical, just words. And person can stop doing that, I'm always good at giving people second chances as long as it ain't violence and stuff like that. So hopefully he can get through this and make him a better person, folks. Maybe he can tell somebody his story and they won't do it. Hopefully that's the outcome, That's what we want with most things that we get in trouble for. We want to get through them so we can tell our story. Not nobody else's, tell our own story. And one more thing, folks, and I'm going to let you go tonight. I promise. It's the last thing. I got this from Fox 8 News. You probably saw it already. No charges for the Cleveland mayor driver. Well, I had to say a little bit about that because I pay taxes for Cleveland too. So I got the right. I'm a taxpayer. I got the right to voice my opinion. I pay their salary. I help pay their salary. Yeah, your tax dollars pay their salary. Don't forget that, folks. Even those that live in the suburb, your tax dollars pay their salary. Trust me. They didn't even give him a ticket, folks. What's going on, folks? Come on. Can we at least get the man a ticket to show that nobody's above the law? Can we? We all know, I ain't got to repeat it, but I'm going to repeat it anyway. If that was you, you would have a ticket. And if they're in a bad mood, your car would have been towed too. Guaranteed. So is this favoritism? Because I know if at my job you show favoritism, you can get fired. That's against the code of conduct. I'm quite sure they got a code of conduct down there in the police department. Where's that old review board? What's the name of that review board all these cities got? Like I said on my last podcast, review the police board and stuff. Why ain't they saying nothing? Or was they saying something behind closed door? Maybe I missed that report. If I did, like I said, like, subscribe, and comment. They got a police review board. Why don't they demand a ticket? They getting paid too with taxpayers' dollars. Taxpayers' dollars. Come on, where's that police review board? Come on, folks. Let's do our jobs. Let's be fair with folks. All you doing is giving them something to argue with you about. It ain't no big deal. The man need to get a ticket. He ran the red light and hit somebody. What if he would have killed them? They would have blamed it on the dead man? They would have changed the cameras, erased them? They got it on camera, folks. He didn't even have his police camera on or his bulletproof vest. He's out of uniform. He don't have his proper PPE. His proper protection equipment. I gotta wear it at work too. I get in trouble. I get a ticket or a write-up or something. I'm just saying, be fair. Well, folks, I'm getting hoarse again. Thank you for allowing me to speak on this platform. Like I said, we try to talk about real issues here. We're not singing and dancing. That's for another station. And, you know, you want to be entertained by that, that's fine. But if you want to try to grow and get some knowledge, let's do this station. There's a place for it too. Real talk. You know, I ain't got to be a millionaire to speak the truth. I ain't got to have 5 degrees, do I? I ain't got to have a lot of money to tell the truth, do I? Or do I? That's what it seems like. If I don't have a lot of money, if I don't have a lot of followers or status and stuff, what I say don't mean nothing. That's why we have to make these channels, folks. We have to come together because our voice, like mine, is not being heard. It's not being heard. Your voice ain't being heard either. So we have to hold these people accountable. So we all get together and do this. They have to listen. Numbers is power. Trust me, numbers is power. When they see a lot of numbers, they get scared. They do. But if they see 1 or 2 or 3 people, they just laugh it off or whatever. No big deal. Let him rant. He's crazy. He's stupid. She's dumb. That's what they do. So until we start getting together and talking on the same accord, this stuff will still be going on. So like I said, I'd like to thank you all for listening. This is Hard Hat Conversations. I want everybody to have a nice and peaceful night, okay? Thank you for listening, and God bless. And I'll see you again soon, hopefully. Peace out.